Mr. Irontrader, it is hump day, which means it is crude day. Now, the API report came out yesterday. It had a pretty good build in crude, over 2.78 million barrels. So now remember, the EIA report will be out today at 10:30. Let's see if it all confirms. Crude oil right now is pretty much flat at sitting at 58, 58.68. Huh. Okay, we're going to take a look here at Bitcoin, at gold, silver, crude oil, and at natural gas. This video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy a stock market ETF. Please like subscribe. Thanks for watching. Alrighty, here we have Bitcoin, daily and your weekly chart. Okay, let's just take a little big ski, see what's going on here. Okay, so we've had this sell-off kind of situation. We made a nice new high. We had to sell off, but it came down, held that nice 100-day, rallied on up here, and then yesterday we had this nice big bottoming tail, and so far today we have what they call an inside day. Your high and low is the inside of previous days. So what on the upside, what we're watching is right here is this 100-day at 113.387. You really need to get back above that. Then we can look at today's high at 114.40 level. Okay, now if we get above that, then we come out to the bottom of that candle, 114.570 level, and then we'll be looking for this 50 SMA here, sitting at 115.653. Now, above that, we have that 21-day, that's your next resistance level, and then we have the 8-day all the way up here at 118.920 level. Now, what I don't like about this is see how this 8-day is rolling over, and that's going to provide very, very strong resistance, as you can see, when that price is below it. Okay, so that's going to be very, very strong. So it's going to take a little time for this here to rally right back on up here again. Now, on the downside, we want to watch today's low, 112.200 level. Then we'll come down to the bottom of that candle here at 111.355 level. Then we come down to the bottom of this candle here, 109.270, and then we have your retest at 108.555. But this is the key level right here, that 107.790, because that was the recent low of this whole pattern kind of a situation. All right, now, right here, 43, we're not overbought, oversold. The green is over red, so shows momentum. Once that crosses over, is to the downside, just like what we have here, just like we had here, kind of a situation, okay? So right now, for me, this is just a trader's market. I use BITX here for the long and BITI there for the old short ski, okay? But again, today, what we want to watch is that 100-day. That's going to be very, very key. We need to get back above it, and then we want to always watch yesterday's low, that 110.295. That's going to be very, very critical. Always want to watch the previous day's high and low candle. Now, when it runs up here, if it does run back up here, that 50-day, 21-day is going to be very, very strong kind of a situation. Now, even though it's Wednesday, you always kind of have a lookout here for by Friday. So right now, you can see how this 8-day now is trying to hook over. It has not crossed over the 21-day, but when it does cross over, this is what happens with the commodity. It's going to come right on down then, okay? So right now, we want to make sure that we hold by Friday that 112.294, but it'd be really good if we can get above that 114.56 and not have that 8-day crossover, because that's going to send that price lower, and your big target is going to be that 102.374 level. Now, that being said, even if it comes down there, but if it holds, then we still have a really nice pattern. Low, higher low, higher low, higher low situation with a series of higher highs. That could be a really good buying opportunity, okay? So always look for opportunity, long and short, and that's exactly what kind of market we have now here in October here. Okay, let's take a look here now at gold and silver. All right, here we have gold. It's just absolutely just parabolic, okay? Just parabolic situation, you can see, okay? Now, we had this breakout on top of that candle right there at that 40.81, okay? And then we started rallying right up here. But you notice we are outside these price channels. So if you look at the three situation, okay? So we're outside 3, then it wants to pull in. Outside 3, pull in. Outside 3, and she might want to pull in. You got this 42.35. So what I always say is going to go to those flat levels, okay? Like 42. If it overshoots it, and go to 42.20. And in this case here now, you're looking at 42.50, possible 4300. And this is just melting right on up here. There's just basically no stopping what gold is doing. Okay, so basically all this is because you got the government shutdown, you got the tariffs going with China. Okay, so it's kind of like, for me, it's like a fear factor situation, but it also makes very, very good trading. So I use GLD for the long. Now I don't hold this every day because I'm not really what you call a big gold trader, but I do just jump in on the long side. So right now, what I'm looking for here is a retest at 42.35, take it up 42.50, 43, and then overshoot 43.20, and then we could take it, keep right on going. You could go all up to that 5,000, but we got to see how that shakes out. You are way, way over an 82 level. But again, that RSI also measures how strong it is, but this is way overbought condition. The green is over red, but you can see where that momentum is just, absolutely skyrocketing. So on the downside, what you want to watch is yesterday's high. That's key, 41.90. And then what we'll do is we'll come over top of this candle here, 41.37, and then we'll come down top of that candle at 40.81, and then your here is 40.73. That's all your support levels. But again, as long as that price is above this 8-day, I know I say this every morning, but that's reality. As long as it's above the 8-day, it's sideways to up action. But just to be a little bit careful here, because we're at 3 candles outside that price channel. A lot of times it just wants to get in, go right back down when you look at what we have in the past. Okay, silver. Now, silver had a very unusual kind of day yesterday. It was a big indecision candle, shot right up to 42.49 level. And today we got as high as 51.88. We had 52.49 there yesterday. So what you're looking for, first of all, is that 52 mark. Okay, so that's always going to be key. And then we can hit for that 52.49 level, and then hit for that 53. But I think overall, silver is going to hit that, go towards that 55 level now. When we were down here, I figured to go to the 50, but no, she just keep melting up. So easy way to trade this is SLV. That's all I traded, and then I'm out at the end of the day. So on the upside here, look for that 52 level. That's going to be key, and then 52.49 is a retest. You crack out that, then you're going to go for that 53 level. Okay. Now on the downside, we want to watch the top of this candle at 50.89 level, and then we want to come here at 49.96, and then we just take the candles down 49.19, and then we'll be looking right here for this 49.01. That is your 8-day. But again, the same thing as gold. As long as that price is above that 8-day, she's going to go sideways to up action. Okay, oversold conditions here, absolutely. But again, also measures how strong this is. The green is over your red, looking very nice. Okay, so again, I just say this is until we lose that 8-day, it's sideways to up action. Okay, let's take a look here at the old crude and natty gas. All right, here we have crude oil, here we have natural gas. Okay, so you can see here crude oil, we had this double top situation. Very nice, came right on down, rallied right on up, and couldn't get through that 21 days. See that? That's why you trade the charts. Then we had this big ass red candle down, and then same way yesterday, we had a lower low, and today so far we have that inside day. So upside, we're watching today's high, that 58.90 level. Then we'll come up to yesterday's high, 59.82, but realistically what we're looking for is that 8-day. Now you can look at the 8-day, crossed over that 21-day. That's going to be very strong resistance. Next above it, we have that 62.02. That's your 21-day. Then we have 62.84, your 50-day. Then we have 64.87, 100-day. Then we can go to the top of that candle at 65.40, and then 66.27 at 200-day. But you can see here how all these are just like on a waterfall situation all the way on down. Now, the green is below your red here, but we are not, look at the RSI, we are not oversold here yet. Okay, so this could go much lower. So let's just take out where this possibly could go. Okay, so if we lose yesterday's low, so first of all, we're going to be trading against the bottom of that candle, 58.22, and then yesterday's low at that 57.68 level. Okay, now if we lose that situation, then we're going to come right down here. This is your next level, is 57 flat. Okay, well, I'll say 57.03. Say 57 level. Okay, and then your next level is going to be 56.39, and then we have this retest down here at 55.12. That's been just sitting here waiting to get retested. Okay, so this has a lot of ways down, but when you look at this overall chart, okay, we have a high, lower high, lower high, lower high situation. Plus, going into this time of the year is just not good. So I'm long the SCO, okay, and then what I've been just doing is just scalping the UCO, okay, just on these uptrends, because right now what you got is when you have this double top, now we're just rolling up here and then pulling down, almost like a bear flag situation, and then pulling down, rallying up here and then pulling down. So this, you can see here how these price channels, now we're just stair-stepping down until we find some kind of a bottom, which I don't think you're going to find here right now unless there's some kind of a catalyst that's going to take crude oil higher. Okay, natural gas. Well, natural gas is coming into its time, but sure doesn't act it. Okay, now we made this lower low today, and we're fighting that 50 SMA. So today we made this low here of 2.97. What we're looking for is this gap fill at 2.96. This is why I always point out these gaps in this fill. See how we had that bottom of that candle? Okay, 3.12, and then we had the top of that candle at 2.96. So when we're rolling up here, Okay, we couldn't get through this 200-day. I was always pointing out, yeah, we have the simple moving averages, but always watch these gaps in this kind of the fill. Once we start getting into this fill situation, then not long, almost 100% of the time, it wants to try to fill that gap situation. Okay, not always, because look at here, we have 277 here, 277 here. We never did fill that gap at 274. Okay, now it doesn't have to, but a lot of times, it just definitely wants to. So what we're looking at on the downside next is right here is at 296 level, and then we'll come down here at 291, and then we have 287, and then we're going to have right here at 284, and then 281, and then we have your retest at 277 level. Okay, so that's going to be a really big retest. If we lose that, then we have the gap fill at 274, 265. Okay, and then we have 268, 265, and then 262 level. Now upside, well, you can see here, very easy, 50-day. Very nice. Okay, 302. We have to get back above that 302 level. Then we can aim for the top of this candle here at 310, and then we're looking for the 21-day at 315. Now we get above that, we look at this 8-day now at 321, which crossed over that 21-day. That's not good. Okay, that's not good. That's going to prevent when this rallies up. That's going to provide very huge resistance level. So 321 there on the 8-day, and then 323 on the old 100-day. And then we can just venture all the way up here until we hit your 200-day and your retest. But right now, not so good. However, okay, so you say, that's all the negative. Well, let's look at the positive, okay? High, higher high, okay? Low, higher low situation. This could come all the way down here and still have that higher low situation. Or you could come down there, retest at 277 and make a double bottom like we had here and then rally on up. Okay, so always look at a two-way trade. UNG for the long I use, KLD for the short, been working out very nicely. Okay, RSI, well, this is nowhere near oversold. This is only at 42, the green over your red. This could go much lower. So what I'd be looking for, if it keeps going down, just watch that gap fill, but then watch this 277 retest. That's going to be very critical. It needs to hold that. If it doesn't, then we're going to come down. We could shoot all the way down to this level right here at that 262 level. Okay, that's what I got for you right now. Here, you look at the NASDAQ futures. They're up about 200. So again, this is a trader's market, especially in this October time frame. So let's see what happens in October. And then a lot of times you get a Santa Claus rally, but also just remember, you get tax selling. Okay, so don't get too excited here. There's always have that tax selling kind of a situation that always wants to come in. Okay, so just trade this market. I'm saying we've had a huge rally on up here. So this right now is a trader's market. All right, I'll be back here midday trading, and we'll take a look here at some stocks, and we'll see what's going on. But right now, all the tech stocks look pretty good, like it wants to rally right on up here nicely. Okay, trade what's in front of you, not what you want.